Good evening. My name is Bryan and I'd like to talk to you about the importance of establishing home connections with EL students and their families. Educating EL students requires far more than delivering language instruction. It requires a deep understanding of culture as a central force in teaching, learning, identity, and belonging. What are some cultural influences on teaching and learning? Culture shapes how students communicate, demonstrate respect, collaborate, solve problems, and view knowledge itself. The sociocultural theory reminds us that learning is social and often mediated through language. Research indicates that culturally responsive teaching improves engagement and achievement because it connects instruction to the actual lived lives and realities of the students. When we ignore students' culture, we risk misinterpreting participation styles, interaction patterns, and even ability. This leads us to cultural competence. Cultural competence refers to the teacher's ability to understand, respect, and effectively respond to the cultural backgrounds of the students. In the instruction of EL students, cultural competence is essential because language learning is often intertwined with identity. Teachers who are culturally competent recognize that acquiring English does not mean the abandonment of one's own home language and culture. Instead, they create environments that value bilingualism rather than treating it as a deficit. Culture plays a powerful role in student learning because it influences motivation, identity formation, and sense of belonging. When students feel their identities are affirmed, academic outcomes improve. School and classroom environments significantly influence language acquisition. Language develops through meaningful interaction in safe and supportive environments and contexts. Inclusive environments where mistakes are normalized, multiple languages are used, and peer collaboration is structured often lower barriers and increase opportunities for authentic language use. To create inclusive environments, educators must establish norms that honor both languages, provide structured opportunities for collaboration, use scaffolding strategies, and make sure diverse cultures are represented in curriculum materials. Supporting and celebrating cultural diversity within instruction includes integrating culturally relevant texts, incorporating student histories into lessons, and designing projects that connect the content with community issues. The Funds of Knowledge concept demonstrates that families possess rich intellectual and cultural resources. Teachers can leverage these resources by inviting students to share family traditions, expertise, and experiences as academic assets. Leveraging home language is especially critical. Strong first language development supports second language acquisition. Strategies include translanguaging practices, bilingual glossaries, dual language texts, and allowing strategic use of home language comprehension. These approaches validate identity while strengthening academic outcomes. Responsiveness to diverse strengths and needs, including EL students with disabilities, requires asset-based assessment and collaboration. Educators must distinguish between language acquisition and learning differences, using multiple measures and culturally responsive evaluation practices. UDL frameworks, multimodal instruction, and collaborative problem-solving teams can ensure equitable access to EL students. Social and emotional learning is equally important. EL students may experience migration stress, interrupted schooling, or identity conflicts. Creating predictable routines, explicitly teaching classroom expectations, and building community circles promote psychological safety for the students. Where routines reflect respect for students' cultural norms, they become inclusive rather than exhibiting assimilating behavior. Understanding social, emotional, and cultural needs is foundational when establishing classroom procedures. For instance, participation norms differ across countries and cultures. What appears to be disengagement may reflect respect. Culturally aware routines prevent misinterpretation and discipline disparities. Family and community practices deeply influence language learning. Funds of Knowledge research demonstrates that households engage in complex problem solving, storytelling, and linguistic practices. that can be connected to academic literacy. When schools build partnerships with families, student learning increases. Effective family engagement practices can include communicating in families' home languages, hosting family literacy nights, and viewing parents and family members as co-educators. Inclusive and community engagement also means collaborating with cultural organizations, faith communities, and local leaders. Positive school family community partnerships emphasize a shared responsibility for EL student success. In conclusion, culture is not an add-on to instruction. It is the context in which learning occurs. When we honor students' languages, identities, and communities, we do more than teach the English language. We cultivate belonging, equity, and opportunity. Thank you.